Good evening, everybody. It is day 5 of the 12 days of financial self-care. Welcome back. We are on day 5. Did y'all do your homework last night? Did you do your homework last night? Give me a quick second. If you are staying here for the 12 days of financial self-care, do me a favor, double tap the screen and hit share. We want to make sure that we are getting TikTok and Facebook and wherever you're watching this from. I've got multiple streams going up right now. Getting the word out for those who have been following the 12 days of financial self-care every single day and have been doing the work. Want to make sure that everybody knows that we're in here. If you have a friend who is like, I said that I'm going to the new year and life is going to be different for me financially, go ahead and do your friend a favor and tag them in. Let them know to come to the live with us. How y'all doing? Did you get your homework done last night? Did you have any questions? Did you have any problems while doing your homework last night? I'm going to start with that. Before we get into today's lesson, I want to know if you had any questions with your homework assignment. Any questions with the homework assignment? Let me know. Any questions with the homework assignment? Give me a quick second just to send this out to few. All right. Any questions? Let me get some music going too. Y'all know I don't like to be doing these lives on dead silent. So we're going to get a little bit of. Why does it seem like. Okay. Do something different. Oh, I know why it's not letting me play. Because I'm on live on Facebook on my iPad. Hey, Alexa, play some Christmas music. Instrumentals. How y'all doing? All right, we're going to check in. How did you guys do with your homework assignments? Did you guys go through your cart? And check to see if you actually wanted what was in there? Did you ask yourself why 3 times? Did you do that assignment last night? For those of you guys who are not sure what I'm talking about, I'm ADHD Money Coach B. I talk about mental health as it relates to your money. I work with the 4 times exceptional, gifted Black woman with ADHD. I'm working to shift them from feeling financially frustrated to feeling financially unfuckwittable. Over the next 12 days, or I should say the next 7 days, because we're already 5 days in, we are doing some practical steps to take the stress out of your finances. So if you've been following me so far, every single day I've given you a different homework assignment related to your personal finances to make sure that you have systems in place to avoid self-sabotage and to feel a lot less stressful. Going through the days, on day 1, we talk about money boundaries, financial boundaries. Do you have them? You need them. How to execute them, how to have tough conversations. I gave you guys some scripts for you to be able to execute those boundaries. I have been tested this very week, actually today, with money boundaries. And I find it very helpful to already know in advance how to respond to things. And not just boundaries with others, but boundaries with yourself. So that was day 1. Day 2, we talked about scheduling money dates with yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. Day 2, we talked about a buffer, having a cushion, a peace of mind fund. We talked about how to figure out how much you need to have more peace of mind between pay periods. I gave you a homework assignment of setting up that peace of mind fund and making your initial $5 deposit. Hopefully you guys have already done that. I talked about the language of what we're calling this fund. We're not calling it an emergency fund because that's not exciting. Who wants to save for an emergency? Like, who hopes that a rainy day comes? Not me, but I hope to have peace of mind. So I'm looking forward to putting money in peace of mind. Language is very important. Day 3, we talked about setting up your money date with yourself. I like to call them bay days because before anything else, I'm gonna move that money. That's what bay days are for me. That's what they should be for you. And my homework assignment for you guys for day 3 was to schedule your money dates in your calendar. Pull out your phone, schedule your next 4 money dates. Ideally, for me, money dates are on payday. Why? Because you got the money. You know you do. You need to pay bills on the same day you got paid and get it all done. Remove the temptation. So for me, scheduling them looks like every payday is my bay day, and I have an alert set up. So I gave y'all an assignment to schedule your bay days. Your bay days don't have to look like mine. You might want to do a bay day once a month. You might want to do a bay day weekly. It's up to you guys how you want to do that. But that was day 3. Day 4 was yesterday, and we talked about mindfulness. Very mindful, very demure. We talked about emotional spending, how every single one of you, whether you think you are or not, are emotional spenders. Why? Because everyone is an emotional spender. Everything we do in life, not just in spending, is either to feel something or avoid feeling something. So until you become aware of how you're feeling, you'll never understand why you keep doing what you're doing with your money. You want to change what you're doing with your money, but you're not aware of how you're feeling. You're not aware of what you're doing. And so yesterday was about being mindful, being aware of what you are doing so that you can get into the next place of getting closer to aligning your spending behavior, your money management behavior with your values. Is that all right? Is that all right? All right. Now, I'm not going to be before y'all long because I got a training of my own to get to tonight. So I am getting off promptly at 8 o'clock. So I'm telling you right now, if you got questions, put them in the chat. Don't be shy. Put them in the chat because I'm getting off here at 8 o'clock, probably about 5 minutes to 8, actually, because I want to make sure I'm logged in and on time for what I am going to be learning because I'm a lifetime learner. So yesterday, we talked about being mindful, being aware of how you're feeling. Today, I want to talk a little bit deeper into your why. I gave you the assignment of looking in your carts to look at every item and ask yourself, for the things you put in there, what problem in my life do I believe this is solving for me? Like, why did I even want this, right? And then going a little bit deeper on those whys. The reason why you want to do that is because you want to understand if there is a need it's really solving. Because that's going to help you decide if you wasted money or not. But I want you to do another activity today. Today, we're talking about spending value alignment. How many of you guys know what value-based spending is? How many of you guys think you exercise value-based spending? Put a 1 in the comments if you think you exercise value-based spending. How you doing? I see you over there in Facebook land. Do you exercise value-based spending? I am going to read to you guys what values says in the dictionary. Okay, this is from my budgeting workbook, Financially Unfuckwittable. If you do not know what it is, right here. Inside of here, I've got some value exercises in here for you. I encourage you to get it. I encourage you to be more clear about what your values are in the first place. This is important. So I looked at the definition of values because I was really curious. And I think that we all have different definitions of values, and understanding what values actually are helpful when you're trying to make decisions. Some people define values as a monetary thing, like how much is the cost of something. Other people define values as what they care about. And I like that definition. So your values being a deeply held belief. Okay. This is important because before you set goals, you need to know what your values are. How many of y'all are setting goals right now? You're going into the new year, you're doing vision boards and you got goals right now, but you haven't even figured out what your values are. If you are setting goals right now and you don't know what your values are, you're already out of order. It's not going to work for you because you're going to end up setting goals that don't connect to something you care about, and then you're going to fall off. Or you will reach that goal and wonder why it's not satisfying. For example, if you value quality time with your family, you like, I love to be home with my family. I love to spend lots of time with them. And you set a goal to get this particular job. And that this particular job requires you to be on call. It requires you to work crazy hours. And yay, you get the job, but it requires you to be gone a lot. Now you're not getting to spend more time with your kids, more time with your family that you said you value, right? You said, I value quality time with my family. You see how when you reach that goal, it doesn't feel like something about it just didn't feel like a win to you. And it's because it didn't align with your values. So it doesn't make sense to set a goal before you're clear on what you value. When you know what your values are, then when you're pursuing a goal, it makes sense. So now if I know I want quality time with my family, if I was looking for a new job, I'm going to be looking for a job that gives me time flexibility. I'm going to be looking for a job, not just that gives me more money, because maybe I'm comfortable financially, but I'm not comfortable time-wise. So I want you guys to think about your values. So today I'm going to do some exercises with you guys for you to guys be able to figure out your values. I don't know if you guys have ever like just Google like value list. I wish I was able to like show you my page. I wish I could put it on the screen, but unfortunately TikTok doesn't let me be great. But I've got this exercise inside of the budgeting workbook, and it has a list of values. If you have time, if you want this list, actually just send me a DM and I will send this to you as a PDF format. But you could probably Google a list that has lots of words on there. I went through and made sure that I felt like my list captured quite a bit, but your values may not be on this list. This is a very personal thing. So one of the activities that I have you guys do in this budgeting workbook is to go through and first highlight your top 10 values. At least 10 things in here. You can highlight more, but 10 things in here that you say that you value. So for me, I know I value safety. I know I value autonomy. Those are things that I care about. I value freedom. That's right up there with autonomy. Right. There's lots of things in here that I know are high on my list. Actually, I should pull out my personal one so I can tell you what I highlighted. Once you've gone through and you've highlighted your top 10 values, we need to narrow that down, because you have 10 things that you care about, right? But they're not the main thing that guides every decision you make. And that goes, let me go back and first and give you the definition, because I started to do that and then I kind of got sidetracked of what a value is. So values, Oxford Dictionary defines it as the regard that something is held or deserves, the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. Another definition they give is a person's principles or standards of behavior, one's judgment of what's important in their life. Vocabulary.com says something you consider of importance or worthwhile. Cambridge defines it as the principles that help you decide what is right and wrong and how to act in various situations. And then Webster's Dictionary gives the monetary worth of something. I like Cambridge's definition more. The principle that helps you decide what's right and wrong and how to act. It's the thing that guides you. Like, it's like, if I think that I value generosity, right? If I value generosity and I say that's what I care about, then I'm probably doing a lot of giving during the year. I probably donate my clothes, right? Because I say I value generosity. I probably look for opportunities to help others if that's a value of mine. If I value freedom, right? That might look like I prefer to be a renter instead of a homeowner, right? Because I don't want to be locked into a mortgage or into a city or into a town, right? That might look like that, right? You might not want to have the burden of a physical location that you're responsible for. But freedom to me might look different than freedom to you. So the first thing that you're going to do is identify your values. What are they? I want you right now to grab a pen and paper and write down 10 things you think you value. And this is important. I want you to write down things you value, not things you think you should value, not things society told you should care about. I really want you to ask myself, what matters to me? Like, most of all. And a clue of that is where you spend your money. It's not always, but your money is often a hit at what you care about. Okay. Once you have your list of values that you have written down, I want you to then turn around and define those values, because again, what safety looks like to me might look completely different to you. Okay, what safety looks like to me might look different to you. So once you're clear on those values, I want you to, and this is going to be your homework assignment, I want you to pull out your bank statements. I want you to look at your bank statement, and I want you to see every transaction and ask yourself, which value does this align with? Initially, I told you to write down 10 different values. So you're looking at your bank statement and it's like food. It may align with self-care, right? Especially if it's like health food. Your gym membership might align with self-care, because I value my body. I value having energy. I value being able to be active, right? You might see that you have money that's going into a travel fund every single month that's transferring. I value adventure. That's high on my values. Like, I really value adventure. So you got music, self-care. Hold on, let me get this. Music, self-care, emotional intelligence, safety, food, book intelligence, freedom. I value emotional intelligence, freedom, and humor. Oh, humor is high up there. It is. I feel like it's not. I don't think we celebrate it enough. I value laughter. Okay, joy. I don't want to be in a relationship if you're gonna bore me to death. Okay, laughter is hella important to me. Okay, so as you're writing down these values, ask yourself, how often do you spend your money on things that satisfy any of these values? How often are you spending your money? And thank you for dropping your values in here. How often are you spending your money on things that reflect those values? You say you care about something, but do you see it? You said, oh, that's my thing. I get so bored easily with people and I don't want to stay crass. But oh my God. What sign are you, Sierra? What's your sign? I got to guess in my head, but you tell me. What's your sign? I'm curious. What is your sign? A Virgo. I don't know what it is. First of all, I'm an Aquarius, but my closest friends are always Virgos, and we're so similar. It is we're different, we're different and similar at the same time. I can't really explain it. But when you said that crass, that yeah, we're gonna get along just fine. We're gonna get along just fine. Virgos, y'all are something else. Hold on, let me look at your list of values and see if they sound like Virgo values. Ah, love that for us. Yes, I love that for us too. For those of you guys who are just joining, I am ADHD Money Coach B. I talk about mental health as it relates to your money. I am on a mission to help the 4 times exceptional gifted Black woman with ADHD shift from feeling financially frustrated to feeling financially unfuckwittable. Over the 12 days of financial self-care, I am giving you guys time to sit down and actually do the work. Most of the time, you guys go to trainings, you hear this good information, and then you don't do anything. And so you don't actually make progress. So my goal for you is, while you're here, is to engage with me in real time, to do these small little tasks that will move you a little closer to understanding yourself more fully and making financial decisions that align with what you actually want in your life. And that is perfect for where we are right now, is knowing what you actually want in your life. So what I'm asking you guys today is, does your spending show what you value, what you want? Or does it show you what social media says you should want, or what others think you should want, what religion has told you should want, what society has told you what you should want, what your parents told you should want? Because all of life, someone is telling us what we should value. We have commercials coming at us 24/7, right? I'm on here, right? There are people all day long telling you, here are things that should be important to you. How often do we sit down to assess if it's actually important to you? For example, there are people who will tell you, get a college education. You should value a 4-year degree. Okay. I think a 4-year degree is helpful. I worked in higher education for 13 years. But do I value it the same way that other people do? No, because I'm a lifetime learner. I'm addicted to learning, whether I got a degree or not. If I want to learn something, I'm going to learn something. I'll pick up a book or audio book or whatever. And I feel like I know a lot of people who don't have a formal degree who are better skilled than people who have degrees. I know people who go to school and get a degree and have no actual real life experience and can't do the job very well. So I don't prioritize that type of education over education. So when I'm thinking of how to spend my money to learn something, I'm not just jumping straight to spending $5,000 a class to learn something a formal way because society said that makes you qualified. I'm looking for the most effective way for me to learn it. I'm looking for where the information is going to give me practical hands-on skills. I'm looking for the place that teaches me based on my learning style. I'm neurodivergent, so I know I need to learn a very specific way. So I value effective education over formal education. I know that about myself. So I don't feel no kind of way about like I should blow the bank. When my daughter is 16 years old and she's getting close to getting ready to go to college, I've already told her college is optional. You need to figure out, do you need a degree to do what it is you want to do, right? You said, I want to go back to school, but I don't know. That's a very good question to ask yourself. Because I don't know if you were here for yesterday's live when we talked about like understanding your why. I'm going to have you do this right now is ask yourself why you want to go back to school. What is it that you think that going back to school, what problem, what need in your life do you feel like it solves? And it's not a judgment question. This is an activity for you to become clear, a little clearer on what it is you want to make a decision if there's other ways you could resolve that. Are there less expensive ways for you to resolve that? So as you're thinking like, I want to go back to school, is it like, I want to go back to school because I want to pause my student loans? Or I want to go back to school because I want to learn a new skill? I want to go back to school because I need to make more money? When you have that initial answer, then I want you to go a little deeper on that why. Because if you say, I want to go back to school because I want to make more money, then I want you to ask yourself, and why is that important? Why specifically? Obviously, most people are gonna be like, who doesn't want to make more money? That's true. But for you, why do you want to make more money? What void in your life is needing fixing? I want to learn more. I want more money, more opportunities. Okay, so let's lean into more opportunities. So if you say, I want more opportunities, I'm going to ask you this question, Sierra, and just go along with me. Why do you want more opportunities? What is it that opportunities are going to do for you? What do you feel? And again, these are questions that are not about judgment. These are to dig as deep as possible to understand what you really want. Because you want opportunities, but for what? So I can use that money to eventually do my dream job in the music field. Okay, we're getting it. We're getting closer now. So what you really want is, I want to make more money, right? I want to make more money. And you have decided that college will be the way you make more money. But is it the only way you will make more money? No, of course not. But now that you've gone down deep and you've gotten to the core of, I want to make more money so that I can eventually do my dream job, now you can start to put out other ways you can do that. So, okay, going to college and getting a degree in something and then a better job. So I'm imagining you're imagining some specific profession that requires a degree, right? That's one option. But I want to challenge you to write down 10 other ways that you can make more money. And I want at least half of them to not require a degree to do it. I want at least half of those solutions to not require you to spend money getting more skills to do it. I mean, in such a formal capacity, you can spend money, but maybe not as much, right? So for example, if you're like, I want to make more money, one of my big things is the multiply factor. I want y'all to all have passive income, meaning clocking in is optional. I got money coming in while I'm sleeping because I have investments that are making money for me, right? How can you have money coming in passively? That means I have to buy an asset that pays passively, right? So now you're thinking like, okay, what types of assets pay me passively? Or some stocks pay dividends, right? That's one form of an asset. You could buy a car, put it on Turo. Now, that's kind of like semi-passive because you do have to meet up with the person and, exchange the car and clean it or whatever. But for the most part, your car is out being rented and then you're making money and you're not having to do anything, right? Same thing with renting out a room in your home or buying a property and using it as rental income. That property that you have that you're renting out is now paying you. You got an asset and you don't even got to pay the mortgage because the renters are paying the mortgage. Plus, you should be charging more than the mortgage is. So you've got passive income coming your way. That's allowing you the freedom to pursue what you actually want to be doing, which is your job. So do you need a degree to do what you want to do? Not necessarily. You could, but not necessarily. You said a lot of my anxiety fuels it. I think they would give me more freedom so I can use money to eventually dream. When you say, I think they would give me more freedom, I'm thinking you mean your dream job would give you more freedom. And a lot of your anxiety fuels it. When you say it, do you mean your music, your creativity? I want to make sure I'm understanding you properly. And if you want, I can put you on a hot seat. I'll put you on a panel and you can actually ask your questions verbally. Just send me a request to come up. I think I have it set up where you can come up. Let me know in the chat. Do you want to come on and just ask your question and we can work through this as a hot seat together? Wi-Fi choppy, so I can't right now. Okay, good. Okay, cool. I was gonna say if you're shy, just let me know. I don't make you pop up here if you don't want to. We can continue to use the chat. Okay, so you've sat there and we've done this activity of understanding like, okay, what you value is you want freedom. You want to be able to pursue your music. And that's important to you. So when you're making purchasing decisions, I want you to ask yourself, does this purchase bring me closer to my values or further away from it? You see how this is going to help? When you're in the store and you're thinking about buying something random today, and it's like, man, what do you want more? There's a quote I say all the time. We often give up what we want most for what we want right now. We often give up what we want most for what we want right now. So how much faster would your degree get you to your goal? And again, I'm not trying to talk you out of going to school because maybe it is a good fit. Maybe you're in a field right now and you know that there's a roadblock, like there's a next level you can get in that will really increase your pay. And the only difference between you getting it and not giving it is that piece of paper. And you don't have a lot of credits left in order to get that piece of paper, then it might make sense for you. But if you're thinking about taking on an entirely new career field, taking a degree in something you don't even want to do, because what I'm hearing is you want a degree in something that has nothing to do with what you really want to do. You want a degree in something that'll make you money so that you can actually do this over here. And if this was an education that didn't cost anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000, hey, I believe in skilling yourself to make money. But if you know you only want to do this for like 5 years, as you said in the comments, then I don't want you to take on $20,000 to $100,000 worth of debt. right? The debt that is stressing out people the most in my DMs is their student loan debt. I worked in higher education for over 13 years, and financial aid is the area specifically I worked in for most of that career. So I totally understand the mindset of students who are returning to college. They're trying to figure out how to change their life. And they believe that this degree is going to do that. And let me tell you, I am not telling y'all not to get a degree. Degrees are helpful. They do get you indoors, especially if you have leveraged the real point of going to college, which is networking. I'm telling y'all right now, if you went to college and only left with a degree, you overpaid. I don't care if you went on a full ride. Your real goal when you are in college is to build relationships, because relationships get you in the door. They do what degrees can't do. Okay? Network. So if that is what I've seen as the real value is the relationships, are there ways for you to get those relationships without necessarily pursuing a full degree? Is there some sort of maybe certification that they offer at the school? Is there some sort of adult learning course that you can take? Can you start going to workshops that they have? Colleges offer free things all the time, or really inexpensive things all the time. If your goal is to get into a field, are there associations that I can join? There are ways for you to find yourself into a field that's going to make you some more money that don't necessarily require you to spend another 4 years in college. But if you wanted to be a doctor, I need you to go to college. Okay, because nobody's hiring you, and I don't want a doctor who hasn't been. Okay, so do you see what I'm saying? The difference is, do you need the degree? Or is there a less expensive and also more effective way for you to learn what you need to learn to get to where you want to be? All right. So we on the same page with that? Okay. So you guys have taken the time to figure out like what my values are. Your second step was to do a lifestyle check. You said yes. Okay, great. Your second step was to do a lifestyle check. And the way you're going to do this is ask yourself, where do I spend the most of my free time? What do I look forward to the most? What do I wish I had more money for? Those are clues about what you value. Where do I spend most of my free time? My free time. What do you look forward to most? And what do you wish you had more money for? Okay. I know high on my list is adventure. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to take my daughter to experience new things. I feel like the best education is in the world, and that's what I know I value. I know I also value safety and security. Like I like the idea of not having anybody to be able to dishevel my life. Okay. Safety and security to me look like having my house paid in full. Some people will say if they want $1 million, the first thing they would do is invest it. And that's great advice because, the time value of money, you'll be able to put it in the marketplace and make money back. For me, I know mathematically it would make more sense for me to take that money and invest it. But for me, honoring my values, because I value security so much from trauma of having been homeless, I know for me, it would give me more peace to pay the house off in full. And then with what's left over, invest it. Why? Because I make better decisions when I'm not anxious, when I'm not nervous. You make better decisions when you're calm. And so for me, that gives me peace. And then I will be able to make better strategic decisions with the rest rather than throwing it all into the marketplace and having to live in constant anxiety of what if the marketplace crashes? What if it takes 5 years to recover? And what if I lose my job in that 5 years and I can't pay my house off? Like, that's not the type of stress I want to deal with. So to me, my honoring my value, how I would manage that money would look completely different than how you would manage your money. You said spend most of my free time in bed. I want to be able to go to more concerts. Okay, concerts. We know that that's something that you care about. So I would imagine that if you were here yesterday and I talked about your pop-up bucket, one of your sinking fund buckets or one of your pop-up buckets should be entertainment. because you want to be able to go and enjoy more concerts. So when you're in the store trying to decide about whether or not you should supersize something or not, I want you to ask yourself, is 5 more fries worth missing out on the Kendrick Lamar concert or whatever concert you want to go to? And that will help you realign your values. The reason why this is important is because most of the time we think we need more money when we usually just need to realign our values. So instead of having more money, you need to move money from something you don't care about to something you do care about. So if I'm spending all my money on DoorDash and I don't actually care about the convenience, like I wouldn't mind cooking at home. That's not important to me. I've got plenty of time. But I really want to be able to go to more concerts. It's going to be easy for me to be like, is this worth missing this concert? Probably not. So now I've saved myself $10 door dashing, right, on that one occasion, and I can take that $10 I was gonna spend on DoorDash and put it in my concert fund. So now when I go to my concert, I can do it without causing any strain to myself. I've simply moved money from things I don't care about to things I do care about. Okay. Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart me. Hi, everyone. Hi, self-love. How you doing? You're in the right room because we are talking about 12 days of financial self-care. And I believe that financial self-care is an act of self-love. So you in the right space. Thank you for following me, JoJo. I'll make sure I follow you back. Let me make sure I follow y'all. If I don't get to do it while I am live, I always go back and look at my follows and I follow y'all back. So thank you for following me. Thank you for the hearts. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So we're talking about value-based spending. We've had you guys look and decide on your top 10 values. I had you guys decide on what that means to you, because saying I value safety means something different to me than it means to you. Saying I value freedom means something different to me than it means to you. I want to give you like an example exercise that I had in the budgeting workbook. For those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, my financially unfuckwittable budgeting workbook has an amazing value-based spending exercise. Not only do I have you break down your values like overall, I have you break them down into categories of what I call my growth, which is money, your environment, your giving, your relationships, opportunities, wisdom, time, and health. Your values for your time look completely different than your values for your relationship. So you want to understand, like, what are the values I care about when it comes to career? What are the values I care about when it comes to education? What are the values that I care about when it comes to my environment? Once you identify 3 values in each of these categories, I want you to look at those things and see, like, is there a theme here? I'm noticing that for me, I really need to get mine so I can give you my real life examples. I'm noticing that there's a theme here, that there's a couple different times where freedom seemed to show up for me. Like I put autonomy when it came to opportunities. For money, I know I put freedom on there. I want to be able to have my money give me permission to do what I want when I want to do it. Time, freedom, I kept seeing that come up. So I knew that when I saw a recurring theme, that's a core value to me. That's a core value. It's not just something I value on one area of my life. So I know that it guides a lot of my decisions. If something feels like it's going to box me in, I'm not likely to want to do it. I'm an Aquarius, full on Aquarius. Okay. We nobody putting baby in a corner. Okay. I know that about myself. I don't like to feel like I don't have a choice. I like to feel like I have freedom. Look, the book is called Financially Unfuckwittable because I want to be able to do what I want. Okay. Once you guys know your values, you guys can set amazing goals, and then you will set up habits that support those goals, and then you're more likely to actually reach them. But if you are setting goals first, you are going to be missing the mark more often than not. Okay. So alignment check. I want you to look at your last 10 purchases. As I want you to compare your answers to your actual spending. I want you to look at your last 10 purchases and ask yourself, how many of these align with what you wrote down? How many were for other people's priorities? Meaning you spent money because somebody else needed you to do something, or it was for someone else, but it wasn't for something you care about. It's for something they care about, right? I remember having cable with like the sports network when me and my ex were living together, and paying that bill disrupted my spirit every time because I don't value entertainment in that way. I don't watch that much TV. So it felt like a waste of money every time it got paid. It was something that he valued and that I was paying to make him more comfortable, but it wasn't something that I valued. And the reason I would say why I was paying it might have been because I valued him, but I didn't value that expense. So when we broke up, guess what expense immediately got cut off? That one. Because I don't care about it. It's not important to me. It never was. It could have gone a long time ago. I'm not going to pay for something I don't care about. All right. I want you guys to tell me if you guys went through and looked at your last 10 purchases. You guys opened up your bank account and you looked at your last 10 purchases to see how many of those things align with your values. I told you to look at the last 10. Tell me on a scale on 1 to 10, how many of them align with your values? Was it one item, 2 items? Hey, Yaya. I love how your name makes me say your name. Hey, Yaya. How many of them align with your values? I told you to look at the last 10 transactions and see how many of them align with your values versus somebody else's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I want you to give yourself a permission slip. Instead of asking, can I afford this when you're trying to make a purchasing decision? I want you to ask yourself, does this support what matters to me? And that will determine whether or not you're going to buy it or not. Does this support what matters to me? Nope. Then I don't want it. And it shouldn't feel like you're denying yourself, because once you realize like I don't actually want something, it should feel good to put it back. Like, why am I buying this? I don't even care about this. I don't even want this. The next thing is the value filter questions. Again, will this bring me closer to my priorities? Am I buying this for me or for the gram? And you know what that looks like. Buy outfits so you can take pictures to put on social media. When I got really clear that I don't really care what y'all think, I did not spend money. I went on a cruise for my daughter's birthday in May, and I went shopping in my closet. I'm not lying to you. I put out a whole bag like it was a shopping trip. I think I posted the video, and I went in my closet picking things out. Yay! Throw it in the bag because I have cute clothes that I rarely wear. And I realized that these people in these countries have never seen me wear them. So it's all new to them. I was buying cute clothes so I can post pictures in these never before seen outfits for the gram. But here's the thing. While I like to do stuff like that, I don't care about that more than experiences. And when I'm out of the country, what I really care about is trying new foods and doing new activities. That's what I care about more. So when I had to ask myself, will this bring me more of what I care about? The answer was no, it didn't. And it was easy for me to say, I don't want this. You know why? Because I'm gonna be on this trip and I'm gonna want to try that activity and that food because I value adventure. All right. So for my ADHD girlies, because I always like to give y'all ADHD friendly advice, whose priorities might change with their passions, because we always have a new hobby. I want you to keep a values vision board on your phone. I told you I have my vision board on my phone, but you can keep one specifically around your values. I want you to set reminders with your priority questions. And I want you to create specific folders with priority aligned purchases. It would be really cool if you got home and you looked at your receipt, and every time you came home and you looked at your receipt, you highlighted the things that aligned with your values. So you can have a visual reminder of how much of that transaction aligned with who you are and how much of that transaction didn't. I think it would also be helpful for you to be able to see your growth, because if in the beginning you start doing this activity and you're seeing like, dang, a lot of this don't align with things I say I care about, don't align with my goals, I don't care align with things I care about, right? And then over time you're starting to see more and more highlighter. That means you're doing better at spending on things you only care on, that you're doing better at only spending on things you care about. All right. Okay, homework assignment for today. I want you to open your shopping cart, your wish list, and I want you to look at your top 3 priorities. Top 3. And I want you to start removing things that don't align